na, 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 na. Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to our continuing reviews of Moon Knight. Oh, so very excited to get into everything tonight. Though I do have to start off, everyone, with a bit of an apology. Obvious, you can see, just Rob and I tonight. My guest, my mom, little scheduling conflict depending on when the day the show was versus when the show comes out. So in a future date, hopefully we'll be able to get that corrected and get her in. She is enjoying the show. So we will try and sally forth as much as we can with just the two of us. And look, folks, I don't know how this happens. It has happened before. You know, I've got one of those virtual private networks I watch a lot of the shows on. And for some reason, I'm not really sure what happened. I reconnected with the mirror universe again. So I didn't get a chance to see the show everybody else did. I saw the mirror universe version of the show, which has a lot of the same things, still some great performances, great visuals, just everything's all a little off. It's just a little tweaky. So forgive me as I go into things. Maybe we'll do a compare and contrast with Rob, who hopefully was also able to see the regular version of the show. Rob, how did you see Moon Knight this week? Everything look okay to you? Because it was great last week. Yeah, but
like we just discussed, I mean, I had to watch it a second time.
Uh-huh.
Get rid of the shadow. Here we go. I on my first initial viewing was kind of bored.
Okay. Maybe you've got the same technical issues I have then.
I just couldn't. I was seeing stuff that I should like, and I wasn't into it. It was just like I was just kind of watching it, and I was like, "This is why am I just watching this? Why am I not like? I'm getting Moon Knight all over the place. I'm getting Marc Spector. I'm getting all this real cool, crazy stuff. We're getting the gods meeting, and I just kind of was checked out about it. I watched it again, finished watching it about 20 minutes ago again, and for some reason it was just so much. I don't know what was going on yesterday, but it was much better the second time around. But there is a couple of things that I just was like, I don't know, but it didn't change my overall liking of it. And after last week's conversation and a lot of the stuff that kind of came up in the chat, I was having a freak out this week about Moon Knight.
Right.
I really was. I was starting to when people mentioned like Oscar Isaac was only on for one season, and I was like, oh man, are they setting up this and that, and getting all worried about it. But I actually read that article from him, and I feel like way better about it. Like how you had said, if they may give him enough money or whatever, or all that kind of stuff, I'm a lot better. And I think that partially played a little bit of a role in my enjoyment of the first time I watched this episode. So I had all those issues kind of nagging in my brain.
Okay.
And then the way that the episode kind of felt like, oh, we are headed in that direction. It really feels like we're headed in that direction. So that's why I think it's important we get as much information as we can before we overreact, and I'm including myself, to things, because
overreaction is what drives the internet.
Yeah, they could still go back and do what I'm worried that is what's going to happen. But I'm starting to feel now more like that's less likely the case, and that most of the Oscar Isaac stuff really feels like the guy got burned, feels like he kind of got burned out on, and the work with Star Wars kind of left a real bad taste in his mouth. And this was him going, let's see what we got.
Stick the toes in. Let's check it out.
Let's do this story and let's see how people like it. And if that's the case, I think we'll get him back. Now, that being said, that could be misinformation, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start opening the doors to that so that everybody else can pile in after me, going, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
do.
don't need to. We don't need to jump on the whole speculation train on
But
that.
yeah, I mean, I do know what you're saying though, but overall, other than a villain problem I had in this episode, um, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'd like to. I'm excited to get into some of that. I want to say hi to Silva Surfa, of course, joining us live in the chat.
What's up, Silva?
Um, really thinks too much Layla should be Marlene and Frenchie with Mark in their opinion. So okay, that is
It's
a fair enough. We
yeah,
do get a little third character in this episode, so we do get to see kind of where they're planning with that. But it's interesting how you talked about being kind of a little bored. And look, and I'll be the first to say, sometimes your frame of mind of where you are is going to interpret how you're seeing a show. You're tired, you're burned out. Seeing a show may not get you as excited as when you're awake and kind of really engaged. And if you're watching it on your phone versus the TV, I'm going to
yeah.
say might have a little different effect on that. But yeah, it was weird when I was watching. I caught myself confused, and not in the sense of not knowing what was going on, but confused of why things were happening. I mean, even though the whole first opening scene with Layla, I'm sure this is our backstory bit where we're getting kind of that her little side of things, which is fine. But I found the scene useless, pointless, a space filler. Any of the only real introduction we got, I mean, I don't know. I think that was that her mom. Sort of felt like she
No,
was about to say bye, mom, at the end. Just that familiar feeling. But we get what that she's got trouble as in Egypt. She needs a fake passport, and what was the other one? Oh, and there was some issues with her dad. Kind of those were the seeds that were basically played out in this initial bit, along with her frustration. All information that was easily be inserted in the rest of the film. The dad stuff could have just come up as it did in the show. The I've got people problems with Egypt was recovered when she ran into Marc. So in many ways, I guess what it is the episode felt like, as beautiful as it was, with some amazing shots, really cool stuff, like a space filler. Like literally nothing happened between the beginning of the show and the end of the show, except they found out where Amit's tomb is and they lost the Moon Knight outfit.
and Khonshu's
That's,
banished.
well, yeah, I count that in with basically losing the
Yeah,
Moon Knight
yeah, yeah,
outfit, because
yeah.
whether he's around going Marc, who cares? Okay, we want to see Moon Knight kicking ass. So
Yeah.
now, obviously, you have to have movement and change and so on, but so much of the episode felt like reasons to not progress, I guess. So I mean, I don't know. I just let's get into it. We have our we start off, obviously, we get our Layla backstory. Then we have Arthur finding Amit's tomb, basically, or the location. Now the Indiana Jones dig begins.
Yeah.
Which is a good setup. While we like appeared in Cairo last, is now there's that pressure. Okay, we gotta go, gotta get it, gotta do it fast. And we do have the opening kind of chase of Marc coming to try and find somebody that seems to know possibly where the dig is. And then at that point, it's just again good fight. But why does Steven let them go? Why don't they kill Steven on the roof? Okay, that's going to be my first question. They let Steven go, or they say that Steven let them go. I don't know how that worked out. There's two of them, one of him, and Steven can't fight. Tell me your thoughts on that opening bit. Maybe your thoughts will answer my questions.
No, I had the same thought as you. As like, well, what? Remember, I was saying last week that I wanted competency, and it feels like one of the things that got Oscar to do this role was that he wanted to develop Steven's character the way he wanted to.
Sure.
It's the reason why he's got the British accent. It's the reason why he's not a billionaire. They let him make a lot of these choices.
Cool.
So I guess Oscar's the one that has the real answers. Because honestly, I guess that's what he thought would be interesting. And he's a hell of an actor.
No, and yeah, amazing
but
stuff.
you don't let them, to get him. This is the concession they made. I don't think a lot of other directors or people with their own visions that aren't, part of a big giant universe would have to deal with this kind of thing. So he's created this, and this I think also hinges to whether he'll do more, is if we like what he's decided to do with this character. And so putting Marc in the background and making this an all Steven show, which it basically now really looks like it is, I feel like I for one want the Marc Spector character. I want the mercenary, I want the capable one, and it was fine that Steven was there and that there's a purpose in that and how they can all start to work together.
Sure. No, I love all that. I agree.
And I think they did kind of some of that here. But in this first scene, I was ready for Marc to be Marc. I didn't want no Steven involved. I wanted us to be able to see how Marc does things, whether how lethal that gets or not.
Sure.
I didn't want Steven sticking his nose in it. And he does. They have it in there, and then he breaks, and then we don't know. And you're exactly right. How the heck did he get out of that? When he phases and there's violence that has happened, we don't really need to know.
Yeah.
We can see it everywhere. But
he was in trouble, blacked out. Now trouble is gone, just bodies.
And they want to run from him. So I guess the only thing I can think is that Steven was supposed to take over and maybe somebody else did.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Or maybe Steven was there for part of it and somebody else took over in the middle of that.
Yes.
It's the only thing I'm grasping.
What we get later on when the third party jumps in is more stabby dead bodies. So that person also seems to be more on the Marc Spector capable side and less on the Steven the friendly type, as the episode is called.
Which then would lead me to believe that if it is the third personality, I feel like that would also be changing the bit of the third personality's character from the comics. And that just like Steven, it's Steven in name only. He is a different Steven Grant. Marc Spector still seems to be Marc Spector. And if we're going to talk Jake Lockley, if this is Jake Lockley, I don't remember Jake Lockley. He was the cab driver. He was the guy that was on the streets. He was the guy who, like Bruce Wayne, would become the bum. The guy, and this is that version of that. He's the guy that gets the info, the underworld stuff. And he could probably fight in whatever, but I think they're making more changes. And that is fine. But when it makes you ask those questions,
sure,
you hope that there's a payoff for it. And I'm hoping that by how this episode ends, and resources are going to be hard to come by without a suit. The only other play that Marc has is other personalities.
Sure.
That might have things that he needs, which could be a really great way to introduce that third personality in the fourth episode. So I'm hoping that will be the answer to your question. Is next episode revealing the guy who made the date with the girl from the museum and the person who was able to talk, like maybe punch and run from the first situation and had to get a little more serious in the second.
Sure.
And they could be writing Jake Lockley as more of the I don't know, like the billionaire secret agent type. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
But
that's it. They may be switching things around. Silva
yeah,
mentions in the chat, Mr. Knight is more Jake, and Jake might be more Mr. Knight in this series.
yeah.
So you're right. They might be changing and moving things around. Again, I'm not super familiar, so a lot of these changes, I can tell you as a fresh audience member with a lot of this info, I'm fine with them. I'm engaged with the characters, and I want to be. Um, I just, because again, I guess I see Mark as a capable person, so I'm like, okay, if he's going to see this kid like off himself, he has enough to say don't, and then he has long enough to watch the guy say for Amit and cut him loose.
Yeah,
Just yank him back from
yeah,
the edge, man.
yeah,
Maybe don't
yep.
kill him.
He this,
Follow them. Follow them.
yeah, yeah,
Um, these
yeah. I
this is just
agree.
these are just the odd things that I want, and I think it kind of accentuated further when we got the okay, so now we're gonna call on the gods. We're gonna bring the gods, and we get our intro. And cool, man, the Egyptian gods. We're gonna get in with this. Okay, we got to use the it's inside the Great Pyramid bit. Can't be anywhere else. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Love the Great Pyramid. It's cool. It's iconic. Now he says, going into it, our case against Harrow must be indisputable. And yet, all he has when he goes in is he's doing bad stuff. No, he's bad. And like, that's it. No, like, he's got the scarab. Like, hey, check out where he is. Also, why do the gods not know where Amit is? That would seem like a godly thing to do. If she's a big deal, can't they just turn her into stone like they did with Khonshu?
Mhm.
There's rules that I'm not aware of, which are fine. But I have questions if you don't guide me through some of this stuff. And it was just look, the physicality of the,
Oh yeah.
I demand against Taro. Okay, interesting choice.
Oh yeah.
Cool, whatever. I don't have a problem. I have a problem with you say this is a big thing. This is a total risk. You've got to have an airtight case, and you have nothing. And you don't even follow him. What? No tracker? I know you're not Batman, but hey, man, the little like Apple tracker pod things, you leave in your stuff. Okay, he's in the desert, so you may not get a cell service. That's cool. Again, I want to be so excited, and all I'm doing is, why are we not getting to? Why do gods not? Why you can move heaven and earth? Why can't you find a guy? Hell, group of people in the desert, satellite dish, people renting cars. You got to have street contacts, right? I mean, just.
This is interesting watching this reaction. It is.
I love this show. Again, but I'm watching a mirror universe. So again, you guys are watching something else. Maybe it all makes sense to you. Maybe you got the version with the explanation or something, and you get again in Crazyville.
No.
Did you like the gods?
It so yeah, I mean that scene. First off,
Rob, what do you think?
First off, since when have the gods ever given a crap about what a mortal has to say?
Thank you.
And I don't mean like the gods, like Thor's. Thor comes. The first time Thor comes around, right? He's not treating people like crap, but he is walking around like we're all, kind of
beneath him. Yeah,
like,
sure. Could say.
Here you go, buddy. Yeah,
Oh,
so
humans cute.
so the fact that also what was he didn't even need to go searching for the tomb, or I guess he still has to find Ahmet, but like they call him there, he's just like boop, like I dream a genie's into the place. They're just like, but my biggest thing was like, why would they? Khonshu may be like on the outs with these people, but he's still their people.
Yeah.
There's otherwise they could have just killed him. They have their own set of rules, which also leads me to believe, like, it makes me question about if with the Egyptian gods being real and they don't interfere. I wonder what they thought of the Eternals.
I was gonna get the whole thing like not inter. What? Why do you care? What Khonshu's doing? You with the what? Yeah. What? Why
Like
do they
what they're
care?
like, we don't have, like, no, everybody's down here not meddling. They're all like, they're just watching the zoo. But yeah, I like the idea of them having the avatars, but their avatars should have been more along the lines of like what gods are like, and they're not. They're just not here, and they just listen to this guy like he's the lawyer who just comes in and just kind of just does the mind freak out on all those people, and just is like it just flips their minds. Like, and the only thing I can say that maybe we're not seeing is that maybe some of these gods were in on it in a way, like that they wanted this.
Yeah,
maybe a couple of them are like have been waiting for this, and that Ahmet was there. Ahmet is they're gonna be on the side of Ahmet, and then Ahmet shows up and probably kills them. Whatever, we were here to help you, and now you're gonna kill us.
Sorry, I'm freaking out here for a moment for something Silva just pointed out, which they also missed a huge opportunity to have Bast in there to tie in Black Panther.
Yeah,
it's true. Now, I don't know if she is technically part of the Aeneid group of gods. I didn't see what the actual list entailed, but oh man, they would. You could have just had one person in the Wakanda outfit there. You didn't even have to say anything, and it would have that would have been a perfect little Easter egg. Okay, yeah, look, let's not talk about what they didn't do.
Yeah,
but you got to get points.
Yeah. So Ethan Hawke just comes in and says he's crazy, and this guy's crazy. And if you walked into a court and just was like, "You're the accused," and it's like, I almost would you be mad if I said something that it reminded me of recently?
Nope.
In a kangaroo court kind of situation. It made me think of the case that was in this area, the Rittenhouse crap.
Oh.
Where it's just like some dummies just, it's like nobody knew how to, like, anyway. I'm sorry, it's just what popped into my head.
It's starting to blow over.
Yeah, I think of like stupid moves in the courtroom where everybody's looking around. It's like, are we all insane? Did we all just take insane pills because we're just listening to this guy? He was his avatar, so apparently when you're not the avatar, you're like what, a Khaleesi who you just like get to still hang out and be like, they just bring you in like, oh, he's
everyone loves you.
One of us. So and he goes, if being out in the desert is a crime, like but
I'm just wandering in
the desert. You're you in the desert. You're not just some dipshit wandering around and got lost. You are an ex-avatar of Khonshu wandering around in the desert. They don't even question that motive, but it's like, it is in like what Wes is saying about what writing choices. It's dumb writing choices.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the mirror stuff is like, we're watching this show that has been really pretty smart and then just kind of goes dumb all of a sudden and makes some just odd choices that in the end, like, hopefully this blip in here is just a blip and the rest of it'll be fine.
Yeah. I am confident.
And if they give us some explanations that make sense to some of this, fine. But that whole part of him just putting the mental whammy on a bunch of gods, it just doesn't track.
There's certainly no tracker No Batman stuff on the back of
And
Harrow. All right, see ya. I'll
and,
follow you in the
and since we're
desert.
talking about it, like I
Yeah,
we
let's
might as
take a
well get to
break
this.
and jump into. We're gonna take a little comic breaks here, real quick. Rob's got a little bit of Arthur Harrow history to sort of pop up, so
Yeah.
let me bring him out.
Okay.
Boom.
So hey everybody. So yeah, I've been doing. I wanted to make sure that we really talk about this Arthur Harrow thing and who is Arthur Harrow? Why is he Arthur Harrow? Is he the Sun King? What is going on? Well, this is a Moon Knight, the Fist of Khonshu series, and in Moon Knight, the Fist of Khonshu #2, we have the only appearance of a character named Arthur Harrow. And he is a man that is experimenting on people because he suffers from a really bad paralysis and pain disease, and he's messing with people, and he dies in this one issue. In fact, it's actually a pretty spectacular death. He thinks he's getting away on a helicopter, and the people in the helicopter drop a hand grenade on him before he can get inside the helicopter and blows him up. Thus ends the story of Arthur Harrow. Gone. That's it. There's the only resemblance to Arthur Harrow is the name. Now, in the new Moon Knight series from just a little while ago, you have this guy who has no name. In fact, I looked it up to make sure that they have still never named this guy. But he was in a mental institution. See how he resembles the Ethan Hawke character? Even like, I mean, look at that right there. Jeez, that's like young Ethan Hawke right there from like Reality Bites. And he is not trying to get Ahmet. He is trying to wake up Ra, who was also, if you paid attention, was not mentioned as being at that meeting. So wherever Ra is, whatever, they'll leave that open for something else. But this guy with no name escapes after torching his psychiatrist who tried to help him the whole time. He goes pretty mental, burns the whole freaking place down, starts a cult, and then proceeds to go after Moon Knight. And that plot point is basically kind of accurate. Different god, guy has no name. And I feel like the only reason they named him Arthur Harrow was because literally he's a character who dies after one issue. And since they never named this guy, they just fill in that one blank. And that is the story of Arthur Harrow. I just wanted to share that with everybody because literally they've switched a lot of things around, including like Layla for Marlene, even though Layla is a comic book character. Marlene is the one known to be Moon Knight's main thing. But again, whatever. Maybe they just are because they know not many people know about this book. They can take a lot more liberties with it, and not as many people will be in a twist about it. So that's all I had. I hope everybody learned a few things there.
I think
It's
that's
just
awesome.
a little explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you've got an awesome collection. Wes mentioning here in the chat, loving your book collection. And yeah, this is the history that you are here for. You are teaching us stuff that we don't know, that we don't need, that we didn't, that we may need to know to help understand this a little bit more, or at least appreciate. Oh, I missed that show. So good. All right, so let's jump back. Let's jump back into things here. Okay, so post God sequence, we have Khonshu even more on the outs. We get Layla showing up, and we get a hint that hey, psst, you could do a MacGuffin hunt and maybe get what you need. Pointing to a sarcophagus. Which luckily Layla, with her contacts, which doesn't surprise us at all, manages to locate. I'm not sure what the relationship was between the two of them. Awfully, there was some bad blood, hopefully cleared up. I don't know. I always get the idea that they were like dating or fake dating. He wanted to date her. Anyway,
Something that they probably had going, or the guy
sure.
like liked her, but she kept him on the hook without ever committing anything like to him, and then disappeared. One of those things that they've done like in a million stories of the girl who's like, yeah, I know a guy, but well, there's a
But
story
we got
there.
history. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a moment we had, and he won't even remember me.
Yeah.
And then of course they do, and then
Which, of
the
course,
yeah.
yeah. And we get the hint of that in our opening scene, but again, unnecessary as they literally discuss it as soon as she runs into him and the problems and issues of coming back to Egypt. But they had to fill in space. I think this really was like, we only have 5 episodes. Make an extra one. Just have them do stuff. Um. Anyway, goes to get the information from the sarcophagus. Beautiful scene.
Yeah.
And the actor, unfortunately, no longer with us. He passed away just after shooting this. I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. You guys all know, and I would
That's right. I
probably
forgot.
butcher his name. So, which is sad because he does have a great presence and looks great in this scene, as weird as it is. First off, I'm just going to let you guys know that's not how you store antiquities. Under glass, in the desert, not even sealed doorways and stuff. Really, not the way that you store thousands of year old things. Looks great. Maybe he just brought them out for the evening. I don't know. Also, moving, not a good thing to preserve, but look, obviously there's a few things in this that I have. My favorite questionable moment in this, well, there's a couple of them. One, why does Steven need to be there to unlock this information? Isn't Layla the Egyptian expert? And how does she know that Steven knows more than she does? These are one of those, it's like there's more intimacy, there's more knowledge shared between than we are aware of. I know it brings Steven's character into this more, but the idea that he has the information more than she does seems like not information they would have at the moment or necessarily know to unlock. But I do love, as soon as Marc decides to get in the suit, despite the fact that God's been yelling at him and Harrow's doing stuff and all sorts of things. I don't know what the belay for that is. Why the Batman disappearance and reappearance? They just turned. He's like, he's gone. Look up. He's on top of the glass pyramid, so we can do the cool jump, which again looks great. It depicts into my thumbnail. I love it with the big moon cape thing. It was freaking so cool. But it was also like, why? Why did you disappear from here to go up there just so you could jump back down? I mean, don't you have some like cool shit? I don't know how
the answer is very simple. Seriously, and I'm not being glib or flip or whatever. Have you seen the GIF? Random bullshit go. Where it's just Moon Knight saying random bullshit go as he throws a bunch of stuff at people. That's what we got. That's why he's up on top of the pyramid.
So I would so much more buy the random bullshit go.
Yeah.
See, that would just
because as soon as he started throwing stuff, I was like, "That's all right. Get the rant." You're like, this is literally. I think they almost were giving a nod to that GIF.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the whole I mean, come on, it looks cool, but I don't care. It just looks so fucking awesome.
Yeah, I get it. It's
so
a
it's
minor
like, who cares? I mean, maybe part of the whole transfer sometimes is like zoom, Khonshu's very theatrical too. So
I'm with it. God, now I so much just want to see random bullshit. And maybe that's Jake.
There's a t-shirt.
Maybe that's Jake. Maybe he is the random bullshit. Maybe he is the Moon Knight.
The wild card.
Oh.
I hope he is, because that would be the best thing.
I would
Like
forgive
the
anything and everything that they did for that.
like
Um,
less of the I would like to see him be a less like the in Multiplicity when they made a copy off of a copy and they got the Michael Keaton I like pizza. I would like to think of him as that kind of wild card with just a little more going on upstairs.
sure. God, I so want that.
Deep cut.
I so want that.
Deep cut, everybody, if you know what Multiplicity is.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. You guys really should check that out. It has its moments. It's worth seeing just for all of that stuff.
It has one of the best lines where he says, "I'm going to hit you so hard it'll kill him."
And the only way that would make sense. Yes, Wes, there was a Madripoor mention, of course, in this episode. Does it connect to Sharon Carter?
Yeah,
Of
probably.
course. I think that there's got to be that
Random bullshit.
from Madripoor, yeah, some dealing with the I even forgot our character's name, not the deal maker.
Layla?
No, Carter's undercover Madripoor,
Oh,
not deal maker. We're horrible fans, folks.
No, the power broker.
Power broker. Thank you. And I did like that. I should remember that. All right. Random bullshit go explains everything.
I'm gonna have to get that T-shirt now. I almost did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's just the other thing. How would Stephen know more than Layla? He works in the gift shop, not really in the museum.
I think that's him. He doesn't bring her with. He needs somebody who can who could learn that. That was Stephen's job, was to fill in for her.
Sure.
He just didn't know it. Empty vessel, reads the books, retains the knowledge so that it's like Marc knows it, but things got messed up.
No, I totally get
okay.
that he would. My question is, how would Layla think that he would?
Yeah. And why? Yeah. Because she's one of the things I like about her is she's not a damsel in distress. So you'd think that at any opportunity they'd have to let her shine with her mind. They would let her. But because they've got the Stephen problem, they're going to have to keep using it. So any chance they can, also because Stephen's the peace, love, and understanding to Marc's kick out the jams.
Right.
Which is bad, by the way, to be the kick out the jams guy in this universe, apparently. It's okay
Marc.
when you...
stop. No more Marc.
But as soon as, that was so great when he turned into Mr. Knight and was like, I'm going to talk my way out of this.
Oh God! Oh yeah! I gotta say, I did love the hell out of that moment.
Take the body back! Take the body back! Like the problem that Stephen has is Marc and him it's again. There's growth in this. Both of them have to see that, as distasteful as Stephen may find some of Marc's practices, and Marc may think that Stephen's an idiot. They both have their uses, and it's once as they started the episode to go on and on, you could see them start to really rely on each other reluctantly, but I think that they were putting that stuff in there to make that more clear. But I do think she should have had the answers, not him.
Yeah,
I liked when they were working in tandem. Not like we need him. It should have it's a simple line change of just I have this, but I would like his advice.
Or even, to be honest, her trying to figure out maybe hitting a spot and having it be Marc that goes, fucking Stephen might know.
Yeah.
This is all he did.
Yeah. This is what his job was. In fact, that's another thing that I wish they would make clear is what was, like we still got Marc holding back for, I guess, a dramatic moment to finally say, why did this happen? And so that's the part I think that's really going to be, that's at the heart of all this. A lot of the questions and the problems we're having is we're waiting for that moment that Marc has to finally tell why did he lose control.
Right. And I think this is obviously going to turn in probably into the origin, which that her dad was one of the archaeologists that got killed, which left him nearly for death. And he had led the mercenaries, but then tried to stop them. I mean, I'm sorry. I could.
I
You want
mean,
to
it
place
is
bets,
straight from the
folks?
book.
Place your
So
bets in the comments section below.
I think they'll
Um,
get that pretty accurate unless they have him actually shoot him. But I don't think they'll do that. I think they're just, it's going to be the I was with those guys kind of thing.
I was
But
responsible. I led
yeah,
them. I was
yeah,
betrayed. I tried to stop them. Yeah, it's going to be the responsibility for it, but not actually probably pulling the trigger.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So that's our guess, folks, of what all this secret behind of with Layla is. Which,
It's
yeah,
Mephisto.
it's Mephisto. It is always
He's the
Mephisto.
guy. He's pretending to be the guy, the one god that's like in a suit that like
Hmm.
just said, "This guy didn't do nothing. This is over." That was Mephisto.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. That's him.
Sorry.
He's hiding out as one of the gods. I know we're spoiling everything, folks.
I know,
Um,
man.
all right. So obviously now we've got finally. I think. Look, I'm going to also one other little thing. You, you know how you know that Arthur Harrow isn't really tied in with the Egyptian belief system? Because destroying a sarcophagus, really bad mojo. Okay. In that belief system, need the body. Got to go back to the body. Unless you've got then you've got cartouches and things that are all in daring degrees of being acceptable. Um, but yeah, the whole destroy the sarcophagus. I was like, wow, kind of surprised. I guess Ahmed is just, I don't care. I didn't like this guy. He will be judged. Um,
You will be judged.
he will be judged. Let's see the whole stabby thing. Spirit needs it. Okay, so all right, the astro navigation
Mm-hmm.
going out the middle of the desert. This is where we get our big, beautiful scene. The big cost of Khonshu, remembering where this place is. Again, these are my questions on the scene. One, Khonshu. I remember that night. Great. So just point where the stars were. Because if you're rolling it back, that's not remembering. That's TiVoing back. Okay. That's why you've got pictures and stuff like that. That's not a memory. Cool and beautiful as that whole scene was. Also, they have computer programs that do that, right? Used in astroarchaeology. Look, seriously, you could probably find the app in the store. But there are programs that will tell you exactly where the stars were and stuff at any time. Astrologers actually have books that can trace back of where the progressions and things are. The point is here at 2,000 years, the stars themselves from each other are not going to move that much. The constellation will look the same. Where it was in the sky, honestly, this won't help. Astronavigation helps direction, not place, because all night the sky moves. So you can't locate a specific place unless you're talking like a specific time directly above. No, can't be, because everywhere is directly above. Right on the horizon, no. It would have to be like between two rocks coming up at a particular time, but then you'd have to know where those rocks were. Then it's more of a clock. What I'm saying is there was a lot of choices that weren't necessary. With a computer program, Khonshu could still be out and not stone. That would save a whole lot. But that's just not how astro navigation even works. You can't locate a specific place from the sky. And I know they're tying in all this cool Egyptian stuff and the visuals, and it's awesome. But why? This really, seriously, man, you got to know a guy that rents trucks to a whole bunch of people, a satellite company with Google Earth. No, those are like every 6 months, but still, man, Marc's got cash. It looked really
He's got
pretty though.
contacts. He's got, he's been operating for a long time, and he's been a part of this big investigation to track this thing down. Yet, again, what gives that made him, the competent mercenary is lost his mojo and is having an identity crisis. And I think that's a good story.
Yeah, no, I
But
like that.
but
And if this was happening in the 30s, the kind of classic Egyptian adventure thing, then you would need all this because you wouldn't have the programs in the computer, and you may not know the guy, and they may have their own personal army, and you wouldn't have satellite stuff. There are rent a helicopter, man. I don't, just look around. I'm just giving up the suit just seems like a big thing, angering the gods to that point. Who
uh,
again? Why they care now? All right, I guess
yeah.
drawing attention. Why that matters? Again, don't know, but okay. Um, what are your thoughts on this whole bit? Though also, the switch from Marc to Steven right in front of cameras. He pulls up the mirror and says, "Okay, it's you." Fucking Oscar Isaac, man, that's awesome.
You started to cut out a little bit,
Oh,
so I didn't know if you were asking me something.
what did you think of all of this part?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you basically said it as best as I would. That it. She's even out there with a tablet that's got to have a great signal out in the desert, right? But
And she has a
she has the
program that can do
technology, and
this
she
reverse
didn't
thing.
think to go, wait, the answer. Do you know how many times I have to go, oh, that's right. A guy today asked me how many cups in a quart. And I was like, I don't fucking know. Oh, wait, I have this device right here. Boop, 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 boop. 4 cups. Like I actually said the wrong thing. You wanted to know how many cups are in a quart, and I didn't know, and I found out it's 4 because I have this magic device next to me.
Sure.
She just couldn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These aren't just phones. I forget. Boop, 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 boop. Here you go, guys. I mean, and I also think that don't they really like to kind of, and I don't mean to be, again, this is going to sound flip, but don't they really like shoving it in guys' faces that they know something on these shows?
Not in the 30s, which is where everybody's living, despite the fact it's in modern Cairo,
Yeah.
which looked awesome too, by the way.
But we have to depower our character in episode 3. So it saves you on the budget and it gets you some more character, and it will. I think we'll get some good character stuff, but I hate it. I don't want it. Maybe it'll be wrong. Like there's things that I can't believe we got in the first 2 episodes. And maybe this will be a quick changeover, and he'll get they'll have everything figured out by the end of episode 4, so that they can. I'm trying to track like how a 6-episode arc would look like. And I feel like things have got to get worse before they get better, right? So
right.
I think 4 is going to has somewhere, if either 4 or 5 has got to give us the answer to the big mysteries. I would think 4 is going to give us the third personality, and 5 is where we get like this kind of the big heavy.
That's usually how the Marvel series have been working out. Yeah.
And then by 6 we have the big, I am Moon Knight, or somebody's going to be Moon Knight. Will it be the same person? I don't know. But
all the Moon Knights. They're going to do a Spider-Man 3 on
there's
this.
going to be a crack in the sky, and Doctor Strange is going to pop up and be like, it's one guy with multiple personalities. Okay. We thought it was, a bunch of you. So he showed up and we just got the wrong information. But here, I'm a doctor. Come see me later. We can talk about your personalities after I'm done fighting Wanda.
That actually gets us to it's a nice transition there to kind of my final little subject that I wanted to discuss was planet-wide acts of God. Let's trace what's been going on with the citizens of planet Earth for the past decade or so. Okay, metal guy flying around, cool, whatever, some capitalist thing. Oh, aliens! pouring from the sky. Okay, that's great. But we're safe. No problem. Weird thing. Okay, a couple of years later, robots picking up a big part of the ground, trying to destroy the Earth. Okay, got through that. Still all Earthbound stuff. Fine. A few years later, boom, half the Earth gone. Half the population gone for 5 years. Then, boom, half that population back. Oh, planet-wide earthquakes, giant god in the sky, hand coming out of Earth, dimensional rips around. Now we have day to night and the Earth night spinning around. How many death cults are out there right now on Earth? What is the religious response? What is the anarchy bit? And is this how Doctor Doom is really locking down Latveria, going, I will protect you? What? How is Earth doing with all of these things? Because before it was like, let's keep it down to Earth, and now it's like, Marvel series, fuck it, let's just spin night.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I'm like, wouldn't doing what they did really mess things up?
Is it just Egypt?
Because you're not just turning, like, you're turning the universe to fit your. Like, I get that Khonshu is a bit of a wild card, but it's like,
again,
his responses, and I kind of love it, is like this big, I don't know what else to do. I'm going by with the way of old things, we would do things. The mortals out.
Every once in a while, you got to scare the crap out of the Earth. Oh, dun dun. I lost you. You back? Am I here?
I've been here. I've been here. You were breaking up on my end.
That's me. And that is a jet really, really close.
Yeah. Random bullshit, go.
Everything's still cool with Russia? All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. I hope you heard some of what I said. But it made me think of, like, just to bring up the blip for a second. When all those people came back, and they just kind of appeared where they disappeared. Is that what happened?
Roughly,
right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll say.
That's how many people were probably about to die and then came back and was like, and then died again. Like they were like. I'm sorry.
You're flipped halfway in the middle of a heart attack.
You're like, you're about to die, and then you like go, oh no, and then you come back, and then you're like, oh whoa, huh? Like I don't know, people that got blipped in front of traffic and stuff like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think they shaved it as like coming back safely. So I mean, because you got to think everybody that was in a plane.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't just.
What are you up in the sky? A whole bunch of people. Oh my god.
That's not good.
Anybody out on a ship?
Yeah, we just all
there's no
trust
water there now, or there's nothing.
That Hulk knew what he was doing. Professor Hulk knew what he was doing, and the power of the Infinity Gauntlets, smoothed all those corners nicely for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real excited to see how the Marvel universe, how Marvel universe is going to be going on in the next few years. I'd be really curious if they actually tie this in with some future storylines that, like, look, people are freaking out. You got old men that before, like, man, back in the day, it was just the eclipse. People thought they took the sun. Yeah, it was all mathematically determined. Now there's actual aliens coming down from the sky. Gosh, I don't know what to do anymore.
And we haven't even talked about how Ethan Hawke does at the end. They let him come in like he's, here you go.
Well, that's why when you say somebody might be working with him on the inside,
where
That's totally what it
literally, it's like he literally does the, like how they would do, how they used to do like a multiple personality changeover, where the person would be like this and then go,
It
you know,
was
it's the
me all
primal
along.
fear of like, Edward Norton telling Richard Gere, there never was an Aaron, like it's that all of a sudden wink almost at the audience of like, I like to do it all. I am like, and it's like, he got to monologue. They literally have given, have let this guy do whatever he wants. Somebody's got to be in on it with him, or they are the most incompetent gods. Like, I hope that I hope there's a joke somewhere where the Asgardians talk about the Egyptian gods. And it's like, those Egyptians down there just banishing each other left and right for no reason.
I have
They
no idea
actually
what's
walk
going
around
on.
in human bodies. We tried that once, but they blew up from the inside when we tried to take over. Like, I don't know. It just the Egyptian gods don't seem to be I don't know, too competent themselves. So
It,
we've got a whole lot of incompetency going on in
yeah, a lot of
in a
struggles.
lot of the characters that we have, and somehow it's still fun and entertaining. But yeah, big step down in a lot of ways overall. Even
But
though, yeah, like I said, all the Moon Knight stuff in action when he's like punches the guy that's about to stab him.
oh
I was
yeah,
like,
that was
that's Mark
awesome.
Spector. That is Mark Spector, the guy who's about to get stabbed and then just punches the guy in the face a bunch of times. I was like, that should have been the whole damn episode. It should have been Indian Marion running around Cairo.
Yeah,
And then at the end, go ahead and do the crazy sky crap. I don't care. Because Indiana Jones dealt with, opening the Ark of the Covenant and melting Nazis.
sure.
So who cares?
Yeah, and again, I think that's exactly it. They're going for that feel, and for the most part, they have this. I think there's just the occasional trip up. It's like, yeah, but you're also in nowadays where you can fix all of those complications that you have. So come up with new complications, because I do. Like you said, the first couple episodes, awesome. I think maybe a bit of a mess step with this one, still with some magnificent stuff, good action, good acting. I'm confident the show is going to go somewhere more interesting. That it's going to give us some bigger reveals. I am surprised with this episode. By no means do I think that this is going to be the way that stuff is moving forward. So,
But I think
I'm
we talked
looking
about it
forward.
in a lot more interesting way than most people have. Seriously, folks out there that watch this, share this with your friends, because I'm guaranteeing you right now, your average reviewer is not going to hear anything like what you heard here tonight, folks. I'm promising you. There's a lot of people that'll like give you the Wikipedia stuff, and they'll sit there, and some of them even know these things, but most of them are just going to hit you by the freaking numbers. You're not getting that here, folks. You're going to get the weird, random bullshit go stuff here
Exactly.
on these videos.
We're asking the important questions.
We're
Like,
getting deep into the
what's up with the
psyche.
gods? What is going on Earth? We
Yeah.
will get more on that. And yes, place your bets and speculation on what the secret is that Mark is hiding from Layla. We all know what it is. All right. Next week, going to be another big episode 4. We should have some big stuff. And yeah, that'll be usually the turn and fall. So we can have the big reveal of whatever it's going to be in 5 and our big wrap up in 6. So next week, I believe we have I think Marc is joining us next week. I've got to double check. Marc or Alyssa will be with us next week. I don't have my list with me, but it's going to be a great show. Rob will be with us as usual, and of course, I'll be here because this is my channel. Rob, let people know anything else that is up with you, and always, of course, where they can find you.
Okay. I'm going to wait for you to pop back. Maybe I'm screwing up on your end again.
I didn't go mirror universe, random bullshit. I don't even know what the audience is seeing at this point.
I can hear you.
Ah,
There we
thank you.
go.
All right. Mark in the chat right now. He will be here next week. I'm excited about that from Enchantment of Eternity. So that should be a really good discussion.
Excellent. Well, you can find me here every Thursday talking about Moon Knight or whatever other great, cool Star Wars Disney thing that has coming down the pipe. On my channel, me and this gentleman right here, I can't do it. I'm not even going to try to correct that. You know who I'm talking about. He was just on my channel where we recorded the first episode of my pretty stream of consciousness podcast called TMI with Rob, the official first episode of TMI with Rob. I've just got to go through the editing process, and God, I just keep wanting to say put in the random bullshit go stuff. And so once I get that done, you'll see the first episode, and there will be more episodes of that coming up. But the big one, Better Call Saul, final season, episode to episode reviews. They probably aren't going to have a lot of bells and whistles on them. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be a really personal series to finally talk about the end of Better Call Saul. I'm really looking forward to that. So keep an eye out for that. Those will be on time videos. So they will not be 2 or 3 days after the show comes out. They'll be up the next day, if not the night of. So that's where you can find me on Smirking Reviews doing that.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, you can find me right here at D's Reviews. We will be running all through Moon Knight. We'll have a little break mid May. And then, of course, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi starting on the 27th. They're doing a big 2-episode drop. It's going to be on a Friday, so we'll have to figure out what day, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, that we will be able to do the show before returning back to our regular Thursday night schedule. And then we'll figure out what's going on with Ms. Marvel, because that's dropping a few weeks after that. And I don't know, maybe we'll do an Obi-Wan Ms. Marvel night. We'll find out. We'll let you know. But we'll see you all next week. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, Wes and Mark and Silva, joining us live in the chat. Really appreciate you guys dropping in. Everyone joining us in the archives, appreciate it. And for everyone new, please like, subscribe, notifications. That way you don't miss anything. All right. We'll catch you next time. Bye, comic.